has introduced customs control on its border with Serbia. That's a move strongly opposed by Belgrade. Local Serbs have been trying to prevent it by block roads leading to the two border posts, and hundreds of them have protested against the move in the northern city of Mitrovica. Our correspondent Sarah Firth has the latest from there.
Those two disputed border crossings remain blocked tonight as the ethnic Serbs have barricaded the roads, leading up to them protesting, of course, the Kosovan government move to take over those posts. Now we're here in Mitrovica, which is the ethnically divided town, and the bridge here that divides the northern Serbian part of the town and the southern Albanian part. Earlier today, that barricade had 3,000 Serbs turn out to man that barricade, and we saw a very similar thing happening at both of the two checkpoints. Now, when we were driving in earlier, one of the checkpoints, and from the other side we could see smoke and the KFOR forces on the ground there. Now, what we've heard is that earlier today the KFOR forces and ULEX were airlifted by helicopter to those checkpoints. Also, the Albanian Kosovan police, they've only actually got two of each at each of the checkpoints at the moment, and they're only there for the time being in an observatory role. Now, of course, the plan is for them to eventually take over control, and that's what much of this dispute rests on. Now, amid concerns of repeat we saw in July when violent clashes over the Kosovan government making a move to try and take those posts resulted in the death of a policeman, it's actually been relatively quiet here today. What we've seen is a huge number of the Serbian, ethnic Serbians turning out at the barricades, but what we've got at the moment is a standoff situation. It's been called a war of nerves because what you've got here in Mitrovica at the barricade and at both the checkpoints at the barricades is the Serbian protesters and then the KFOR forces at the actual crossings themselves. But no one wants to make a move. The KFOR forces don't want to make a move to break up the barricades for fear of sparking violence, and the Serbian protesters for exactly the same reasons. They don't want to be accused either of provoking violence. The United Nations Security Council holding yesterday an emergency meeting. That was at the request of Belgrade and Russia. Now, the final decisions were really made from that. There are a lot of countries that were unwilling really to make a statement. Russia and Belgrade warning that this move to take over the place could really provoke further bloodshed.
That's our correspondent Sarah Firth. I spoke to political analyst Alexander Pavic. He told me the NATO-led mission in Kosovo, assisting the breakaway republic in its customs controls, is in fact violating the UN mandate.
Meaning NATO have absolutely overstepped their mandate. Their UN mandate is clear. They're supposed to be neutral down there. They're supposed to be keeping the peace. They're not supposed to be taking anyone's side. They're clearly taking the Albanian side, the secessionist government in Pristina, the capital of Kosovo. And so this is bound to stir trouble. And they've openly sided with them, together with the Western countries, the Western powers that are sitting in the Security Council. So Hashim Thaçi has a lot to thank for as far as they're concerned. We have the Security Council, where we have 5 states, each with veto power. We have 3 Western states and 2 non-Western states and the Security Council with veto power. So really, if the West decides to support any unilateral action, you can't stop it, and you can't give a mandate to the UN to do anything about it, because either the United States, Great Britain, and France will veto to it. So it's not surprising. They've been sponsoring Kosovo independence for years now, and they're actually thinking that they're entering the end game now, and they're actually doing a hard push for it right now.
We're asking you tonight for your thoughts on the story on our website, rt.com. The question there is, what should Belgrade do about Kosovo? What do you think? This is what you're telling us. Thanks for taking part if you haven't done so far tonight. By far and away, the majority of those, you can see 78% this hour. I think the best way out to simply take it back from the Albanians. Around 10% of you, again, that's been hovering around the number all night, suggesting recognising Kosovo and joining the EU. Similar amount of you think Belgrade should repatriate all Serbs. Still that small minority telling us that Serbia should build a concrete wall at the border. You're welcome to your views. We'd like to hear them. rt.com. Very much like to hear what you've got to say about the story tonight.